Here, our conversation coming up now with great drummer Alan White. We heard from Bill Bruford earlier, so now we will hear the opposing viewpoint. Actually, they're getting to be famous friends, and they're really playing great together on the road, so it's really an exciting thing to see Bill Bruford and Alan White together. Here, our conversation with Alan White. And now, for the rest of the story. Forget everything Bill Bruford had to say. Now we'll get the real story from Mr. Alan White. Hello, Alan.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Good show in Philadelphia, got to say.
We enjoyed it. Being this early in the tour, it was kind of like a pressure on the band to perform to their fullest in Philadelphia, but I believe that we came up to expectations. Everybody loved the show.
Yeah. Really awesome. I was talking to Bill earlier about this whole thing and how you two playing together for the first time is just so interesting. And I'm really very moved by the rhythms in a lot of Yes music. And I've always told you how awesome I think you are in terms of power. I mean, there are moments in you and I and Awaken and so on that it's just physically moving to me. Some people think I'm nuts, but it moves me.
No, yeah, I mean, that's what we, over the years, have developed Yes music into probably taking the technical side of Yes and making it more emotional now and putting more movement in the music, more like orchestral movement within a rock framework. And that's what we work towards. And we're really achieving that nowadays, especially with an 8-piece band, which is more like a Yes orchestra than anything, that you can add orchestral parts to it.
Is this a dream or your worst nightmare to have Bill Bruford, the guy who you replaced, and after 18 years of being the guy who replaced Bill Bruford and finally being the Yes drummer, he comes back? I mean, I know it isn't, but I mean...
No, not at all. I think it's interesting and very challenging to make both percussionists that have been in Yes work together and add to the music more than anything. And we're taking what we've developed and even hopefully making it even better by either being two. So there's a lot of very positive kind of things about the whole situation.
People might think that drummers are kind of wild and crazy guys. I think maybe Liberty DeVito is pretty wild and crazy, but the mighty Max Weinberg is much more like you guys. Bill and you are very quiet guys off stage, and yet you have this power. You're the guys responsible for the... You don't think you're quiet off stage, Alan?
I don't think either of us are. In one sense of the will. But we're not crazy, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we like to have fun.
Yeah.
At the appropriate times. Yeah, I know what you're saying. We kind of more laid back.
Yeah.
To a sense. But...
Is that a drummer's personality to generally you get your aggression out on stage rather than...
No, I think most instruments in the band, I think I've quoted this before, I can pretty much tell what kind of guy plays what kind of instrument anymore. Bass players stand out like sore thumbs. I mean, and drummers are usually pretty crazy, and I think Bill and myself are both probably eccentrics in certain areas. Yeah. And
but soft-spoken, I mean, and quiet a little bit.
Yeah, probably the aggression.
Well, maybe down to, I mean, not, your egos don't seem to be really great. And I know that's part of why you two can play together. And you're just it seems like you're having fun exploring each other and exploring the possibilities of creating this music with two drummers and drums and percussion and whatever.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's interesting. And, to a certain degree, where they say that I'm kind of the meat and potatoes of the band and Bill the whole bass sort of just heard on the radio, which is kind of an interesting way of looking at it. But we've taken the music to, not so much another level, but we've moved the music forward into the 90s. And play it that way. And
maybe elaborated on it.
We elaborated on it, and like I think I said before, orchestrated it and moved it more like symphonies move up and down with feeling.
I was saying I noticed that Bill played Heart of the Sunrise, and...
I thought it was only appropriate. I mean, it's a song I love to play, don't let me out. I mean, it's a wonderful song to play, but I thought it was only apt that Bill performing on the record, and it being a Billism type record and the kind of interesting percussion he did in the original version on the record, that he do it on stage.
Yeah.
So.
Is there any, I know, like, in Long Distance Run Around the Fish, it kind of starts with the old band and changes to the L.A. band through the course of the solo, you know.
We thought that was, well, we did Whitefish, which is a thing that Chris and myself do, but it's basically bass solo that I move along up and down in percussive directions. We thought it was interesting. They do their version, and the new band kind of takes over. It's an interesting part of the set that people see that both bands can play one thing.
But is there any sense that because you had spent most of the 80s with the LA band, is there a kind of a sense of comfort when you were with that grouping rather than the guys that you hadn't been playing with, or even though you certainly played with most of them?
Not really. Well, I suppose so. I mean, it's just comfortable because I've been playing with Chris for so many years, and Trevor's been in the fold for almost 10 years now. So there is a sense of that being the framework of what is going on.
Do old, old relationships? I mean, because you had the drama band with Steve, and then Steve kind of is associated with the other band. I mean, it was all these permutations. I don't know if any of this baggage ever goes through your mind. You just think about the music.
Probably yes. No, we never think about that. We just get into playing music. In fact, there's odd times in rehearsals when we picked out more things like our phone drama and stuff like that. Not to play, just to reflecting on licks. And Steve and Chris and myself were playing parts of drama that nobody else played in the band. Because it was another era.
You do a little bit of that. Yes, you do.
That's right, yeah. In the Whitefish thing.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the tracks that you were associated with on the new album, Union. I have a list here, and maybe you could just, if there's a few, you could specifically, do you know which ones are which and which ones you...
Sure, yeah. Well, most of this stuff that you see that is from the 9125 type lineup.
Right.
On the album was stuff that we were preparing for the new Yes album. Lift Me Up was a song of Trevor's. Also Miracle of Life, which he wrote with another friend of his.
Really?
And
because that reminds me very much of the older style Yes.
Yeah. In fact, the beginning reminds me a lot of Close to the Edge.
Yeah.
And it's very reminiscent of that kind of thing. So that and Saving My Heart was from us, and what else was from us on here? Oh, Let Go, too, which is another track that was written by Chris and a guy called Billy Sherwood. But I was involved with from the birth of the track, really. It started, that track, with Chris and Tony and myself actually doing it in rehearsals while Trevor was touring, that track. This initial spot came from Chris.
Yeah. Did you add rhythm first to these tracks and then Trevor putting lyrics, or do you kind of put the rhythm to a song that's already done?
No, Lift Me Up was a computerized. It's one of the very few computerized kind of Yes things that we did, where it was almost finished other than having real percussion on it. And I went in and put the real percussion on it, which changes into more of a real situation.
You play the same in the studio as you do live, do you think?
Yeah, over the years of doing lots and lots of sessions, you get used to playing with that format. But some of the new Yes music, as it were, has been done like that, but usually we all play together first. If it is done like that, we go through a period of playing it live in rehearsals and working it out first.
There was going to be that in the new Yes album. Is this kind of a detour, this group thing, or do you think this is going to stay this way? Or what's gonna you know what the future will be?
Well, everyone's been very open-minded about where this will go. There is a contract in existence to make another 3 or 4 albums with this format. If possible. So we've just been open-ended about it and just getting on with the tour. Even this tour has been talked about being extended to South America and Japan and Australia. So people are just, getting on with it. It's very early days in this tour.
I get the feeling when you finally got out here on the road, you're kind of even like a little amazed at the response. You kind of forgot that like millions of people are waiting for this to happen and like can't believe it and are so thrilled about it?
No, well, I think we're amazed that we're getting songs right more than anything. I mean,
Right. You need to. The fans demand it.
The fans demand it, yeah, because you get people who come up and say, oh, the third bar of the second song you played tonight. You know, we get people that really...
that ding, that elevator ding, that's what I was missing in a You and I.
No, Bill plays it. He plays it on a triangle. In fact, Trevor came up to me last night. Hi, Fish.
Hey, it's Chris Squire.
Are we still on the air? Yes, down the end. In fact, Trevor came up to me last night and said, you missed the ding. I said, no, Bill plays that bass. I go do, and Bill plays it over there somewhere.
I just wanted Mike louder. The elevator ding reminded me.
Yeah, it's actually almost in tune with it, yeah.
Is that where that came from, that elevator ding? You had it?
No. It was a little triangle what Bill was playing around with.
Anyway, it's got to be fun for you, and it's so emotional. I mean, I tell you the truth, I really, it brought tears to my eyes after Awakening when you guys got up and hugged each other on stage. I know it's a little bit that you do every night, but it just really says so much that you guys have put everything.
It's felt. It's not staged at all. It's a real good sense of feeling. I think it's relief of getting through the whole set together more than anything. No, it's probably, you know, there's a lot of emotion up there when you get 8 major players in the story of Yes up there on stage, finishing such a long set of great music.
And then, you know, you got to do it again the next night and the next night.
Well, the schedule they've got us doing is we're doing 5 in a row now and a day off and then 6 in a row. So there's 11 gigs in 12 days is a lot to be doing, especially when we're playing almost 3 hours a night.
Alan, thanks a lot, and we'll let you go, and I'll see you again. And it's just great to have all you guys doing it, and great to have you back out here on the road.
Thank you.